having arrived at the BTS at Ekkamai Station, the next challenge is to make sure you take the correct exit. Now, if you don't take the correct exit, you're going to be hauling your luggage across the road in a different location, wasting time. The exit I'm going to take today is exit 4 because it's connected to the Gateway Shopping Centre. Now the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to get something to eat at the Gateway Shopping Centre before I board the bus. There's the Gateway Shopping Centre and I can get something to eat. If you were not going down this path of getting something to eat, instead you could take the elevator down, or more importantly you could take that exit over there because that's where we have to go, where all those people with their suitcases are going. So we need to head up that road there, and it's a couple of minutes walk and you're at the bus station, so not far at all. I took the video from up there. I've now come down onto street level and I'm at the bottom of the set of stairs I was talking to earlier on. So let's now progress further on to the bus station. Here's the corner where the bus terminal is located. There's the train station we've just come from. I've just walked across that intersection and there is the bus terminal right over there. Highlighted by the big sign you might not see because of the skylighting in the rear, but it says Bangkok Bus Terminal Eastern. So let's head over there right now. Looks like I'm not the only one travelling today. Well, that wouldn't surprise me. People going all over the place around here in all different directions. Now you see this guy yelling out Pattaya, 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 right? You gotta watch out for these guys because they will shunt you onto a bus that you're gonna be sorry you travelled on, right? Now, what I'm talking about here is being put onto a bus that is absolutely horrible, right? So let's look for a nice VIP bus that's gonna get us to where we need to go. So what you'll see around the place here is all of these different sellers of bus tickets to different locations. Now, some are actually buses, some are minibuses, and some are vans, so to speak. Right, so let's just have a look at how I choose the bus I'm travelling on. So I walk around, I have a bit of a look, and then I see a picture like that picture there, which highlights to me that it is an actual bus. And there's also a comment there that says 38 seats, and of course it says Pattaya, right? Now, the ticket price for that bus is written on the window there, it's 131 baht. If I go over to one of these vans, they'll quote me 150 baht, but the problem I have here is I'm quite large, so I don't want to be sitting around in buses and, you know, pressed up alongside somebody, that type of thing. So here's the next level down, that's one of the smaller buses. So that one there will cost you 160 baht basically to Central. That's okay for some who are actually, you know, not as big as me, I guess, and that type of bus suits them. And then you go to smaller buses again, right? These smaller vans, I call them, are also going to the destinations you might be going to. But for me, I've always taken the large buses. That wasn't always the case. And the reason I said earlier on, avoid these guys that are yelling out, is because I rolled up here one day with a mate of mine and we were escorted onto a bus, and it was the longest trip I had ever taken. We went through the mountains and past farms and everywhere but where we needed to go. And eventually we got there, but oh boy, it was start and stop all the way. So their objective is to get you on their bus, right, so that they can capture a fare. Now, your objective is to get on the right bus. The other thing worthwhile noting is they've actually got numbers at each of these windows. Now these numbers are where the buses will be leaving from. call it a parking spot or a bay, whatever you like, but that's the number of the bay for that particular bus. Now down here, you've got the time the bus is leaving. You can actually shop for your bus based on times. I can look for a bus that's leaving at about 2 o'clock. So there's one over there at 1400, not going to my location, but you can see what I'm trying to talk about here. I'm saying that they'll display the time. So if you actually push for time, or you don't want to wait around, or the bigger buses are leaving later, you might very well take one of the smaller buses because you need to get there at a particular point in time. Well, those times will be signposted, as will the parking bay they are leaving from. Well, let's have a look at the parking bays now. You can see that bus lined up there, and you can see the parking bay 15 up here. That's where my bus will be leaving from. It says Ekkamai Pattaya. Then there's another one there, 16, Ekkamai Chonburi, Ekkamai Satahip, Ekkamai Rayong, Ekkamai Banpi, and it goes on, right? And along here, you can buy some snacks if you need them for the bus. Typically, it's like any other bus station you might see around Southeast Asia. Very similar to what we see in the Philippines as well. You can see all these small vans. You see these people getting crowded into this van over here. So they're going to Pattaya, where I'm going. There's no way I would want to be crunched in there amongst all of those people. It's just too hard. You can see the size of the seats, and you're sitting alongside someone you don't know, and that person actually pressed up against them. Too hard for me. So I avoid those. Toilets located at the rear here. Travelling regionally in and around Thailand is pretty easy to do. The bus system is amazing. They've got a great bus system, and of course there are other forms of transport, hire car, that type of thing. I generally try and stay away from renting a car with a driver. I think that's just an expense you can avoid. If you really wanted to hire a car, you can hire your own car, and it actually works out quite well. I hired a car when I was in Koh Samui, and I've saved a lot of money in terms of transporting myself around to the different tourist sites. But in terms of getting to, say, Pattaya, you can rent a car and drive down there and keep the car for yourself over the next few days and see the local sites. Most people won't do that because transport in and around Pattaya is very easy with the system they have that's called a Songkhao system that's running around the city. The other way of getting down to Pattaya is to hire a car and a driver, like a Grab. That will cost you around 1,500 baht. That's okay for some. If you've got multiple people traveling together, that works out quite well because you can split the costs, and it takes you directly to your hotel room. You can get it from somewhere within Bangkok, or you can get it direct from the airport. They're generally very reliable and quite fast. That's the other thing. They might do one toilet stop along the way. You can get there by train, but I'd avoid it. It's slow and it's laborious, and it's pretty uncomfortable as well. So I wouldn't do it that way. Depending on what city you're in around Thailand, you can actually fly in to the Pattaya airport, but it's not really an airport that people fly into from all over the place. It's very limited. So you're basically limited to either bus or car. So at the end of the day, what you're really doing is weighing up whether you want to spend 1,500 for a car to get you down there, or 131 baht plus the travel from the bus terminal to your hotel, and from anywhere you are in Bangkok to the bus terminal here, right? So what I'm trying to say is that if you're taking a bus, you'll need to get to the Bangkok bus terminal, right? So that's not expensive. You can get a Grab. I got a Grab which was like 130 baht or something to get me there. If I was taking a train, it's probably about 20 baht to get me there. I got to the Ekkamai Bus Station, then I walked 100 metres or so, and I was in the bus terminal buying my ticket, which was 131 baht to get me to Pattaya. Now when I get to Pattaya, I'll pay no more than 100 baht to get me from the bus terminal to my hotel. So all in all, we're up for about 131, 231, probably about, well, less than 300 baht, right? Less than 300 baht safely. And you're probably throwing a cup of coffee with that one as well. And that will get you from Bangkok to your hotel room in Pattaya. So weigh that 300 up against 1500, and I think you see what I'm saying. The other thing is that I would say that the bus is extremely comfortable, and it's actually a really interesting journey, right? So you're sitting on the bus, and there are other people on there. Some of the buses have televisions and they're playing a movie. Just depends what you get, right? So all in all, my recommendation is to take the bus. Now, if you're coming from the airport, there's a bus that's actually leaving from the airport, so you won't even have to come here. You can get straight on the bus and go straight down there. There are also vans and that type of thing that run the service as well, but they'll cost you a bit more. So, if you want to go that way, fine. All right, well, let's keep going, eh? As you're getting on the bus, they'll tag your bag and store it into the storage compartment under the bus. They'll often check your ticket as well to make sure that you are in fact travelling to the correct location. Now for extra size luggage, they will actually charge you extra for your bag. Once you arrive, the bus driver will unload your bag from the storage compartment and you are ready to roll and find yourself a transport to your hotel, which will be one of these song towers over here. And you get onto one of these song towers or mini buses, so to speak, and it'll cost you 50 baht to get to your hotel. Now, disregard the touts that are trying to sell you a direct route to your hotel. That'll cost you 200 to 300 baht, right, to get direct to your hotel. So you don't need that. Just jump on with everybody else and pay 50 baht and they'll drop you right out front of your hotel.